the one main sin that I was talking about that is the number one is if you blaspheme the Holy Ghost. And no, blaspheme doesn't mean to curse or say, you know, foul language to. Blaspheme is basically um, like uh, to talk wrong about, not so much to cuss or say something bad, but you talk wrongly about. Like if I was talking to you and I was to say, hey, look, you know, there's nothing in Christianity, it's a joke, there's nothing in it, you know, there's no such thing as the Holy Ghost. Anything like that is blaspheming, talking bad against. Not so much cussing, you know, swear words. That's not so much blaspheme. Blaspheming is talking bad against or about. So you blaspheme the Holy Ghost. You basically say there is no such thing. It doesn't happen. It's just all supernatural. It's just in your mind. Then that's the only one unforgivable sin. So, like I said, you know, do I believe? I do believe to a certain extent, but, you know, I'm not saying that I don't believe. You know, there's just so many unanswered questions and so many unanswered things that I don't know, and I've researched it and I still can't find the answer. I mean, if you could see my bookcase over here that I have to the left of me over here, I have at least 30 different versions of the Bible. I have the King James Version, the new NIV, you know, NCV. I have the New Living Translation. I have just about every translation you can think of, and they are all different. It's the same concept. It's basically the same principle, the same concept. It's just it's written in an easier language to understand. They take the stiff language out of it, the stiff words, and they put in easier words for us to understand it. I've got the Amplified. I've got I don't know how many different ones. So, you know, I've searched it out, and I've never, you know, never found an answer. It's like, what was his name? Samson, the guy that had long hair, and his hair gave him his strength. Have you ever heard about any man today that's alive today, that's in history, that's growed long hair and's gotten strength? I mean, come on. To me, it kind of sounds like a fairy tale. I mean, you know, and you're not supposed to tell anybody anything. He wasn't ever supposed to tell anybody about it, and if he did, he was supposed to lose his strength. So it's like, I don't know, there's just a lot of, you know, and a man that gets swallowed by a whale, Jonah and the whale. I mean, anybody that got swallowed by a whale, you would probably be dead. I mean, I guess there is a such thing as surviving it. I mean, you see shows on TV where people have survived shark bites and everything else. I mean, I guess it is possible, but more than likely, 99 chances to 1 you'd be dead. But is there such thing as angels? Do I believe in angels? Yes, I believe that there are angels that watch over us and keep us safe. But, you know, these are just my views and opinions. But the thing that gets me the most is, how can you say you come from a rock? You know, you're an intimate being. You always have been and you always will be. And you know, you came from a rock. You don't just form. You have to be born. I mean, if that's the case, then I could just, you know, I could form out of a ink pen or out of a cell phone. I mean, you know what I mean? I don't know. There's just a lot of other unnecessary concepts. And I want to go on about this. There's a now this is going to kind of get interesting. a lot of these so-called Christian people, or your preachers, and the fundamentalist Baptist church people, they take and they hear the word witchcraft and wizardry, and they automatically assume that it's of the devil. Well, a lot of these preachers and a lot of these fundamentalist Baptist people, or these Christian people, this is going to have to do with the Harry Potter series. They've never watched the Harry Potter series. They just hear the witchcraft and wizardry and they automatically assume that it's of the devil. Well, here's my opinion to you all. Until you've seen the movie, and until you know what you're talking about, keep your damn yap shut, because there's biblical similarities. There's look at Harry at the very beginning of the movie where he's put in a basket and he was left on the step of the Dursleys. That reminds me of the story of Moses, where his mother put him in a basket. He went down the river, and that Israelite woman picked him up and raised him as her own child. There you go. That's one biblical similarity. There's many others. I mean, there's Dumbledore. To me, he's like, I look at him, I symbolize him as the preacher. And what he's doing is, he's preaching to the students of the school, which would be the church. He's preaching to the church to get them ready to fight the Dark Lord, which would be, in our terms, would be the devil. He would be the preacher. And he's getting them ready to fight the Dark Lord. He's teaching them what they need to know. Which our preacher's teaching us the Bible, he's teaching them magic. It's basically the same thing. There's the tattoo that they have on their arm of the dark mark. To me, that's the mark of the beast, the 666 that people talk about. There's another biblical similarity. There's, they call that one guy, he has the name Lucius. What does Lucius sound like? Another name for Lucifer. Lucius. Lucifer. There's another biblical similarity. There's a character in the Harry Potter movie that her name is Moaning Myrtle. Well, there was a woman in the Bible, I think her name was Esther. Esther. And if you go back and you look back in the Greek or the Hebrew language, in the writing of what her name is interpreted to in the Greek or Hebrew, it means myrtle. And if I remember right, and my memory serves me right, she was moaning because she lost her husband or her son or somebody in her family. And she moaned and mourned over them. So, moaning myrtle. There you go. That's another biblical similarity. They got the Harry Potter movie called The Chamber of Secrets. What do you think the Chamber of Secrets is? It's the chamber of hell. It's the doorway to hell. There you go. Different, similar. The basilisk. The snake. It's the devil himself, Lucifer. I mean, there's a lot of biblical similarities in the Harry Potter movies. But your Christian people and your preachers, they're too ignorant to sit and listen to a guy like me that analyzes things like this, because they automatically hear witchcraft and wizardry. They want no part of it. They don't want to hear a daggone word of it. But if they actually would listen to it, they would actually think that, you know, hey, you got a point, you know. But there's a lot there's a lot more in similarities. The Dementors. Well, what's another name for a Dementor? Demon. Dementor. Demon. Okay, there you go. And I'm not making fun, but I'm gonna use this as an example. And if you're Catholic, bad wizards, they go to Azkaban prison. What could Azkaban be symbolized as? Purgatory, a holding place where you go till God decides, you know, if you're worthy to go to heaven or hell. That could be purgatory. If that's your religion and that's the way you believe. You know, there's many others. I have a DVD, I have a video about the similarities more in depth on my regular YouTube channel at Schaber Craig. YouTube.com. Schaber Craig is my YouTube channel.